The pregnancy test clattered into Kamara's bathroom sink, two pink lines staring back like an accusation. Her hands shook as she gripped the porcelain edge, breath coming in short gasps. 6 weeks. It had been 6 weeks since that night, since the man with the dark eyes and careful hands had made her forget every rule she'd ever set for herself. She didn't even know his last name. The knock on her apartment door made her jump. Kamara grabbed her robe, heart hammering as she moved through her small Harlem studio. She wasn't expecting anyone. Through the peephole, she saw him, Jin Woo, standing in her hallway like he belonged there, wearing a black suit that probably cost more than her rent, flanked by two large men in similar attire. What the hell? Kamara yanked open the door, fury momentarily overriding her shock. How did you find me? Before we dive into Kamara's story, if you love intense romance with high stakes and unexpected twists, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. You won't want to miss what happens when the most dangerous man in New York discovers he's about to become a father. Trust me, this story will have you holding your breath until the very last second. His eyes met hers, and for a moment something soft flickered in them before his expression hardened. We need to talk. May I come in? No, you can't just show up at my apartment. I don't know you. You know me well enough. His gaze dropped briefly to her stomach, and Kamara's blood ran cold. I know about the pregnancy, Kamara. She slammed the door in his face. Her whole body trembled as she backed away, mind racing. How could he possibly know? The test was still warm in her bathroom, unless he'd been watching her, unless... The door opened. She'd forgotten to lock it. Jinwoo entered alone, his security remaining in the hallway. He closed the door gently behind him, hands visible and non-threatening. Please, just listen. Get out, or I'm calling the police. My name is Kang Jinwoo. I run an organization in this city that operates between legal and illegal lines. 6 weeks ago, I attended an event you catered because I needed neutral ground for a business meeting. I stayed because of you. He took a careful step forward. That night wasn't supposed to mean anything, but I haven't stopped thinking about you since. Kamara's throat tightened. That doesn't explain how you found me or how you know about... She couldn't finish the sentence. I had people looking for you. I wanted to see you again, properly this time. When they finally located you 3 days ago, they've been watching to make sure you were safe. He pulled out his phone, swiped through photos, then held it out to her. They took these this morning. Kamara stared at the screen. Photos of her leaving the pharmacy, buying the pregnancy test, returning to her building. But in the background of each photo, other men. Korean, unfamiliar. Cameras pointed her direction. Who are they? People who want to hurt me. And now that you're carrying my child, they'll want to hurt you too. Jinwoo's voice was steady, but his jaw tightened. I'm not here to force you into anything. I'm here to offer you protection. This is insane. Kamara laughed, but it came out broken. This isn't real. This doesn't happen to people like me. It's happening now. Look at me, Kamara. He waited until her eyes met his. I know you're scared. I know you don't trust me. But those men in the photos? They work for my ex-fiancé's family, and if they know about the baby... Ex-fiancé? An arrangement I ended 2 years ago. She didn't take it well. He pocketed his phone. Misun is dangerous, vindictive, and she has resources. If she thinks eliminating you will bring me back under her control, she won't hesitate. Kamara sank onto her worn couch, legs suddenly unable to hold her. Why me? Why did you have to notice me? Jinwoo knelt in front of her, not touching, just close enough that she could see the genuine regret in his eyes. Because when you smiled at me that night while explaining the difference between jollof and bibimbap, I forgot what world I belonged to. Because you made me laugh. Because for 3 hours I felt normal. He exhaled slowly. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry I brought this into your life. What do you want from me? Let me protect you. Move you somewhere secure, somewhere they can't reach you. I'll pay for everything, medical care, living expenses, whatever you need. You choose the location, you set the boundaries. But please, Kamara, let me keep you safe. She wanted to say no. Every instinct screamed to run, to refuse, to handle this alone like she'd handled everything else in her life. But those photos, those men with cameras and cold eyes. I need time to think. You have 48 hours. After that, I'm moving you whether you agree or not because I won't let you die out of stubbornness. He stood, pulled out a card, and placed it on her coffee table. That's my private number. Call me when you decide. He was at the door when Kamara spoke again. Jin-woo. He turned. That night, was any of it real? His expression softened, and for a moment she saw the man who'd made her laugh over fusion cuisine and bad Korean pickup lines. Every second was real. That's why this is so complicated. After he left, Kamara sat in silence, one hand pressed against her still flat stomach. She should call the police. She should pack a bag and disappear. She should do anything except consider his offer. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. Against her better judgment, she opened the text. A photo. Her teaching a cooking class that afternoon at the community center. In the background, a Korean woman with sharp features and expensive clothes, watching through the window. The message below read, "Pretty thing. Shame about accidents in kitchens. Knives can be so dangerous. M." Kamara's hands shook so badly she nearly dropped the phone. She grabbed Jin-woo's card and dialed before she could second-guess herself. He answered on the first ring. Kamara? She just threatened me, son. She sent a photo and... Her voice cracked. I'm already on my way. Lock your door. Don't open it for anyone but me. The sound of a car engine roared to life in the background. I'm 5 minutes away. Stay on the phone with me. I'm scared. I know, I've got you now. Just breathe. His voice was steady, anchoring her to something solid in the chaos. Tell me about your family. You said your parents are in Nigeria? Lagos. They run a restaurant. She moved to the door, checking the lock, then the windows. I send money home every month. What kind of restaurant? Nigerian cuisine. My mom's suya is legendary in our neighborhood. She was babbling now, but it kept the panic at bay. I learned to cook from her. That's where you get it from, that passion when you talk about food. She could hear him breathing, steady and calm. I'm turning onto your street now. 2 minutes. Kamara heard footsteps in the hallway, heavy and multiple. Her heart seized. Jin-woo, I'm here. Open the door. She unlocked it and Jin-woo entered with 3 men, his eyes scanning her apartment like he was cataloging every potential threat. He moved to her immediately, hands hovering near her shoulders before he caught himself. Are you hurt? No, just the text. She showed him her phone. His expression turned glacial as he read the message. He forwarded it to himself, then looked at one of his men. Trace this number. I want to know where she sent it from. To Kamara, his voice softened. Pack a bag. Essentials only. We're leaving now. I haven't agreed to anything. She threatened you in writing. That's not a warning, Kamara. That's a declaration of intent. Jin-woo moved to her window, peering through the blinds. She's escalating faster than I expected. We need to move. Where? I own a secure apartment in Columbus Circle. 24th floor, doorman building, private elevator access. You'll have your own space, your own key. I won't be living there. This isn't about trapping you, it's about keeping you alive. Kamara looked around her small studio, the home she'd worked 3 jobs to afford, the independence she'd fought so hard to maintain. What about my business? My classes? We'll figure it out. But right now, we need to go. She packed quickly. Clothes, toiletries, her grandmother's recipe book, a photo of her parents. Jin-woo waited by the door, speaking quietly into his phone in Korean. When she emerged with her duffel bag, he took it from her without asking. The drive through Manhattan was tense and silent. Kamara sat in the back of a black SUV, Jin-woo beside her, his security in front and a second vehicle following behind. Every time they stopped at a light, she saw him scanning the streets. You do this often? She asked. Relocate pregnant women you barely know? First time. He glanced at her, something almost like humor in his eyes. You're a unique situation. Lucky me. Kamara. He shifted to face her fully. I know you're angry. You have every right to be. But I need you to understand something. The world I come from, the things I do, I never wanted to bring that into your life. If I could go back and stay away from you that night, I would. But I can't. And now that you're here, now that there's a baby, I will do whatever it takes to protect you both. Even if you hate me for it. She stared at him, searching his face for deception and finding only raw honesty. I don't hate you. I don't know you well enough to hate you, but I'm terrified, and I don't know if I can trust you. Then don't trust me yet. Just let me prove it to you. The apartment was nothing like Kamara expected. Instead of cold luxury, it was warm and thoughtfully decorated. Cream-colored walls, soft lighting, a kitchen that made her chef's heart sing. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked Central Park, the city stretching out like scattered diamonds in the darkness. The master bedroom is through there, Jinwoo said, setting her bag down. Bathroom is stocked with everything you should need, but if I missed anything, tell me. Kitchen is fully equipped. Mrs. Park will come tomorrow morning to introduce herself. She's my godmother, and she'll be checking in on you regularly. You're really not staying? Not unless you want me to. He pulled out another card, this one with an address. I live in Midtown, 20 minutes away. Security team will be stationed in the building, not in the apartment. You'll have privacy, but help if you need it. Kamara walked to the windows, wrapping her arms around herself. The city below felt both protective and isolating. What happens now? Now you rest. Tomorrow we'll talk about next steps, medical care, security protocols, whatever questions you have. He moved closer but maintained distance. And Kamara, I meant what I said earlier. That night was real for me. I know this isn't how you wanted things to go, but I'm glad it's you. I'm glad it's our baby. She turned to face him, and something in her chest tightened at the vulnerability in his expression. I'm not ready to hear that yet. I know, but I needed to say it. He headed for the door, then paused. There's food in the fridge. Mrs. Park stocked it this afternoon. She made myeokguk. It's traditional Korean seaweed soup for pregnant women. Good for you and the baby. After he left, Kamara explored the apartment, still half convinced this was some elaborate nightmare. But the soup was real, warm and nourishing when she finally tasted it. And when she crawled into the massive bed, her phone buzzed with a text from Jinwoo. Sleep well. Security is watching. You're safe tonight. She wanted to hate the relief she felt. Instead, she closed her eyes and, for the first time in days, slept deeply. The next morning, Mrs. Park arrived with fresh ingredients and a warm smile that reminded Kamara painfully of her own mother. The older woman spoke broken English mixed with Korean, but her meaning was clear as she started preparing breakfast. Jinwoo, he good boy, Mrs. Park said, cracking eggs into a pan. His mama, my best friend. She make me promise, take care of him. Now I take care of you, too. Mrs. Park, you don't have to. You carry his baby. That make you family. She pointed a spatula at Kamara with mock sternness. You eat. Baby needs strong food. Over breakfast, a spread of Korean dishes and Nigerian-inspired modifications Mrs. Park had researched, Kamara felt something unknot in her chest. This woman who owed her nothing was treating her like a daughter. Jinwoo, tell me you chef, Mrs. Park said. You teach me Nigerian food? You want to learn? I want to make food you miss, food that tastes like home. Mrs. Park's eyes were kind. This scary time, but you not alone now. Kamara's eyes burned with unexpected tears. Thank you. Jinwoo arrived that afternoon with shopping bags and a tentative expression. I wasn't sure what you liked, so I got options. He unpacked books, pregnancy guides, Nigerian literature, Korean cookbooks. Mrs. Park said you two got along well. She's wonderful. Kamara picked up a novel by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. You bought all this? I want you to be comfortable here. This isn't a prison, Kamara. It's supposed to be a home, at least temporarily. She looked at him, really looked at him. Out of the suit, in jeans and a simple black shirt, he seemed younger, less dangerous. Why are you doing this? Because 6 weeks ago, you told me about your dream of opening a culinary school that bridges cultures. Because you laughed at my terrible Korean puns. Because when I'm with you, I remember what it feels like to want something good. He stepped closer. I'm doing this because the alternative is losing you before I even get the chance to know you, and I can't accept that. The next 3 weeks fell into an unexpected rhythm. Jin-woo visited daily, never staying too long, always respecting boundaries Kamara set. They cooked together, her teaching him to make jollof rice, him showing her how to properly fold mandu. Their conversation stretched from food to childhood, from dreams to fears, and somewhere in those hours over cutting boards and simmering pots, Kamara felt her walls beginning to crack. "You're terrible at this," she laughed one evening, watching Jin-woo massacre another attempt at chin-chin, the fried Nigerian snack crumbling in his hands. "I'm a businessman, not a baker." But he was smiling, flour dusting his forearms. "How do you make it look so easy?" "Years of practice. My grandmother would make me redo batches until they were perfect." She moved beside him, guiding his hands. "Gentler. You're being too aggressive." His hands stilled under hers. "Kamara." She looked up, suddenly aware of how close they were. His dark eyes searched her face, and she saw the question in them. "Jin-woo, Her phone rang, shattering the moment. Unknown number. Her stomach dropped. Jin-woo saw her expression and took the phone, answering on speaker. "Who is this?" "Jin-woo Appa." Misin's voice was sugar-sweet poison. How domestic. "Playing house with your little project. Does she know yet how this ends? Women who get too close to you tend to have unfortunate accidents. Touch her and I'll destroy everything your family has built." Bold words, but you forget. I have resources too. "Tell me, how is Kamara's mother doing in Lagos? Such a lovely restaurant they run. Would be terrible if something happened to it. Fires spread so quickly in those old buildings." Kamara grabbed the phone. "Leave my family alone. This is between you and Jin-woo." "Oh, she has a voice. How refreshing." Misun laughed, cold and sharp. "Listen carefully, chef. You're carrying something that belongs to me. Jin-woo was mine first, and he'll be mine again once you're gone. This baby is just an inconvenience I plan to eliminate." "You're insane," Kamara whispered. "I'm determined. There's a difference. Enjoy your borrowed time." The line went dead. Jin-woo was already dialing, rapid Korean flying from his lips. When he finished, he turned to Kamara, his expression fierce. "I'm putting security on your parents. They'll never see them, but they'll be protected, and I'm increasing your detail here." "She threatened my baby." Kamara's hands shook as she pressed them to her stomach. "She threatened to kill our baby." "She won't get the chance." Jin-woo pulled her close, and this time Kamara didn't resist. She let herself sink into his chest, breathing in his scent, sandalwood and something uniquely him. "I won't let her hurt you or our child, I promise." "How can you promise that? She clearly has people everywhere." "Because I'm willing to do things she's not. I'm willing to go further, darker. For you, I'll become the monster. Everyone already thinks I am." She pulled back to look at him. "I don't want you to be a monster. I want you to be safe too." Something shifted in his expression. Surprise, then something tender and fragile. "No one's worried about my safety in a long time." "Well, I am, because if something happens to you, what happens to us?" She touched his face, feeling the slight stubble on his jaw. "I'm starting to care about you, Jin-woo, and that terrifies me more than Mi-sun does." He caught her hand, pressing it against his cheek. "I've been in love with you since you told me Nigerian food could teach the world about resilience and joy. I just didn't want to admit it because I knew I'd ruin your life." "You haven't ruined it. You've just made it really complicated." "I can work with complicated." He leaned down slowly, giving her time to pull away. When she didn't, his lips met hers, soft, questioning, reverent. The kiss tasted like hope and fear and something that felt dangerously close to forever. The prenatal appointment the next week changed everything. Jin-woo held Kamara's hand as the doctor moved the ultrasound wand across her belly, both of them holding their breath until the rapid flutter of a heartbeat filled the room. "There's your baby," the doctor said, pointing to the screen. "Strong heartbeat. Everything looks perfect." Jin-woo's grip tightened on Kamara's hand. When she looked at him, tears tracked down his face, the first time she'd seen him cry. "That's our baby," he whispered. "That's really our baby." "Did you doubt it?" "No, but seeing it makes it real in a way nothing else has." He brought her hand to his lips. "Thank you for giving me this." Walking back to the car, Kamara felt something shift in her chest. This man who commanded an empire, who could end lives with a word, was crying over an ultrasound photo clutched in his hand. Maybe he wasn't the monster he thought he was. That night he stayed for dinner. Then he stayed to watch a movie. When Kamara fell asleep on the couch, her head on his shoulder, he carried her to bed and kissed her forehead before leaving. But the next morning, he was back with breakfast from her favorite Nigerian spot in the Bronx. "How did you know about this place?" she asked, biting into warm puff-puff. "I've been studying. If I'm going to be part of your life, I should understand where you come from." He pulled out his phone, showing her a language app. "I'm learning Igbo, too. I'm terrible at it, but I'm trying." "Say something." He cleared his throat, clearly nervous. "Ahuru Emgi Nanya. I hope I said that right. It means, I love you. You just told me you love me in Igbo." Kamara set down her food, emotions overwhelming her. "Jinwoo, too much too fast?" "No, it's..." She moved to him, straddling his lap on the couch. "Say it again, in Korean this time." "Sarange." His hands settled on her waist. "I love you, Kamara Smith. I love your strength, your passion, your terrible jokes about food. I love how you've turned my world upside down and made me want to be better. I love you too. I think I've loved you since you tried to pronounce chin chin and completely failed." This kiss was different, deeper, more urgent. His hand slid under her shirt and she arched into him, 6 weeks of tension finally breaking. "Are you sure?" he asked against her lips. "We can wait." "I'm sure. I need you, Jinwoo. I need to feel something other than fear." He carried her to the bedroom, laying her down like she was something precious. They made love slowly, carefully, his hands mapping her body like he was memorizing every curve. When she came apart beneath him, he held her through it, whispering promises in Korean and English against her skin. Afterward, wrapped in his arms, Kamara felt safe for the first time since seeing those 2 pink lines. "Stay tonight," she whispered. "Are you sure?" "I'm sure. I don't want to be alone anymore." He pulled her closer, his hand resting on her stomach. "You're not alone. You'll never be alone again." For 2 weeks, Kamara lived in a bubble of cautious happiness. Jinwoo stayed most nights, their relationship deepening with every shared meal and whispered conversation. Mrs. Park taught them both traditional Korean dishes for expectant mothers, while Kamara introduced them to Nigerian soups and stews. They talked about baby names, Chidi for a boy, meaning God exists, Amara for a girl, meaning grace. But the bubble couldn't last forever. Kamara was teaching a private cooking class in her apartment. Jinwoo had arranged for vetted students, a way to let her continue her passion safely, when Mrs. Park burst through the door, her face pale. "Kamara, you need to leave, now." The older woman's hands shook as she grabbed Kamara's arm. "They found the apartment. Misun's people. They're coming." "What? How?" "One of the students." Mrs. Park looked at the 5 women in the kitchen, her expression hardening. Someone here told them. The youngest student, a Korean woman named Hana, stood abruptly. "I'm sorry," she whispered, tears streaming down her face. "I'm so sorry. They threatened my sister. I didn't have a choice." Before anyone could react, the apartment door exploded inward. 4 men rushed in, guns drawn. Kamara's students screamed, scattering. Mrs. Park pushed Kamara behind her, reaching for something in her handbag. "Nobody moves," the lead man said in accented English. He pointed his gun at Kamara. "You, come with us. Mi-soon wants to meet you." "She's not going anywhere." Mrs. Park pulled out a small pistol, aiming it steadily despite her age. "I raised Jinwoo since he was 12 years old. You think I don't know how to protect what's mine?" The man laughed. "Old woman with a gun. Mi-sun said you'd be trouble. She also said to kill you if necessary." Everything happened at once. The man's finger tightened on the trigger. Mrs. Park fired first, hitting him in the shoulder. He fell, cursing. His men returned fire. Mrs. Park shoved Kamara toward the bedroom. The panic room. Jin-woo showed you. Go. I'm not leaving you. Go. Protect the baby. Mrs. Park fired again, giving Kamara precious seconds. Kamara ran, her heart hammering. Behind her, she heard more gunshots, screaming, the crash of furniture. The panic room was hidden behind a bookshelf in the bedroom closet. She yanked it open, threw herself inside, and slammed the steel door shut. The lock engaged automatically. The small room had a phone, water, a first aid kit. Kamara grabbed the phone with shaking hands and dialed Jin-woo. He answered immediately. Kamara, what's wrong? I'm getting alerts from the apartment. They're here. Mi-sun's men. They attacked during my class. Mrs. Park. Her voice broke. She told me to run. Jin-woo. There were guns. So much shooting. I don't know if she's... Stay in the panic room. I'm 10 minutes away. Do not open that door for anyone but me. Do you understand? Mrs. Park saved me. If something happens to her... I know, baby. Just stay safe. I'm coming. She could hear him shouting orders in Korean, the screech of tires. I love you. Hold on. The phone went dead. Kamara sat in the darkness, one hand pressed to her stomach, the other clutching the phone. She could hear muffled sounds from outside, men's voices, something heavy being dragged. Were they searching for her? Was Mrs. Park alive? Minutes stretched into eternity. Then she heard it, a voice she recognized. Kamara Smith. Mi-sun's tone was conversational, almost friendly. I know you're in there. Jin-woo's little safe room. Clever, but predictable. Come out and we can talk like civilized women. Kamara said nothing, barely breathing. No, that's fine, I can wait. Or a pause, then a pained gasp. I can shoot the old woman again. She's still alive, surprisingly resilient. But another bullet to the leg might finish her off. Your choice, chef. Don't, Kamara called out, her voice cracking. Don't hurt her. Then come out. We'll have that chat. I promise not to hurt you or the baby, yet. Kamara, don't. Mrs. Park's voice weak but defiant. Jin-woo is coming. Stay inside. A gunshot. Mrs. Park screamed. Oops! My hand slipped. Mi-sun's laugh was cruel. Next one goes in her head. 10 seconds, Kamara. 10, 9, 8. Kamara unlocked the door. She emerged to chaos. Her beautiful apartment was destroyed. Bullet holes in the walls, overturned furniture. Her students huddled in the corner under guard. Mrs. Park lay on the floor, blood pooling from her leg, her face gray with pain. Mi-sun stood in the center of it all, immaculate in a white suit, holding a small silver pistol like it was a fashion accessory. She was beautiful. Cold, perfect features, expensive everything. Her eyes assessed Kamara with open disdain. So you're the one who stole Jin-woo. I expected more. Mi-sun circled Kamara slowly. You're pretty enough, I suppose, in a common sort of way. But this... She gestured at Kamara's small baby bump. This is just biology. It doesn't make you special. It doesn't make you his. What do you want? I want you gone. Permanently. But I'm a businesswoman, so let me make you an offer. Mi-sun tilted her head. Leave New York. Disappear. Have the baby somewhere Jin-woo will never find you. In exchange, I'll let you and your family live. I'll even pay for your silence. $1 million. More money than you'd see in 10 lifetimes. And if I refuse? Then you die tonight. The baby dies with you. Mrs. Park dies. Those students die. And your parents in Lagos? I have men positioned at their restaurant right now. One word from me and it burns, with them inside. Mi-sun's smile was razor sharp. I'm giving you a choice, Kamara. That's more mercy than most people get from me. Kamara looked at Mrs. Park, bleeding and trying to stay conscious, at the terrified students, at the gun pointed casually in her direction. You're going to kill me anyway. Probably, but at least this way your family lives. Isn't that worth something? The apartment door crashed open again. Jin-woo stormed in with a dozen armed men, his gun already drawn and aimed at Mi-sun's head. His eyes found Kamara first, scanning her for injuries, then moved to Mrs. Park, and his expression turned murderous. Put the gun down, Mi-sun, now. Jinwoo appa. Mi-sun's demeanor changed instantly, softer, almost pleading. Thank God you're here. These men attacked your apartment. I came as soon as I heard. I was trying to protect Kamara. Don't. His voice was ice. I have cameras, Mi-sun. I heard everything. I watched you shoot Mrs. Park twice, so drop the act and the gun, or I will end you right here. Mi-sun's mask cracked, fury replacing the false sweetness. You'd choose this nobody over me? Over our family's alliance? Over everything we built? We built nothing. Our fathers tried to use us as bargaining chips. I refused. You couldn't accept it. Jinwoo moved closer to Kamara, positioning himself between her and Mi-sun. It's over. Your men are surrounded. My people have already detained your father. You have no leverage left. I have her. Mi-sun swung the gun toward Kamara. Jinwoo fired. The bullet hit Mi-sun's shoulder, spinning her around. Her gun clattered to the floor. She collapsed, screaming, clutching the wound. Jinwoo's men swarmed forward, securing her, calling for medical assistance. Jinwoo went straight to Kamara, his hands cupping her face. Are you hurt? The baby? We're okay. But Mrs. Park... He was already kneeling beside his godmother, applying pressure to her wounds. Stay with me. Ambulance is coming. You're going to be fine. Mrs. Park managed a weak smile. Told you, I protect family. The hospital waiting room smelled like antiseptic and fear. Kamara sat with Jinwoo's jacket wrapped around her shoulders, his hand clasped tightly in hers. Mrs. Park had been in surgery for 3 hours. The students had been questioned and released, all except Hana, who was being held for questioning about her role in the attack. She's strong, Jinwoo said quietly, his thumb tracing circles on Kamara's palm. Mrs. Park has survived worse than this. She got shot because of me, because I couldn't stay hidden. She got shot because Mi-sun is a psychopath who refused to accept no for an answer. He turned to face her fully. This isn't your fault, Kamara. None of this is your fault. A doctor emerged, still in surgical scrubs. Family of Catherine Park? They stood together. How is she? Jinwoo asked. She's stable. The bullets missed major arteries, but she lost a lot of blood. She'll need physical therapy, but she should make a full recovery. The doctor smiled. She's awake and asking for both of you. Mrs. Park looked small in the hospital bed, but her eyes were alert and already annoyed with the IV in her arm. Stop looking at me like I'm dying. I'm fine. Kamara burst into tears, moving to the bedside. I'm so sorry. I should have stayed in the panic room. You saved me. Mrs. Park caught her hand. If you stayed hidden, Mi-sun would have killed me to draw you out anyway. At least this way, Jinwoo got there in time. She looked at her godson. You shot that crazy woman. Good. Should have done it years ago. She's in custody. Federal charges, attempted murder, kidnapping, racketeering. Her father is cooperating with authorities to reduce his own sentence. The whole Beck organization is falling apart. Jinwoo sat on the edge of the bed. It's over. Really over. Good. Now you two can be normal. Have your baby. Be happy. Mrs. Park squeezed Kamara's hand. You brave girl. You protect family. That's all that matters. Over the next weeks, normalcy slowly returned. Mi-sun was denied bail, her assets frozen, her empire dismantled. Jinwoo met with federal prosecutors, offering testimony and evidence in exchange for immunity and a way out of the organization. He was done with that life, he told Kamara, done with violence and shadows. He wanted to be the kind of father their child could be proud of. They moved to a brownstone in Brooklyn. Kamara's choice, somewhere that felt more like a home than a fortress. Jinwoo enrolled in a program to get his MBA, planning to run legitimate businesses. Mrs. Park, recovered and feisty as ever, moved into the guest house, declaring she wasn't missing a moment of her grandchild's life. On a cool October evening, Jinwoo cooked dinner. Jollof rice that was almost as good as Kamara's, he claimed, though she strongly disagreed. They ate at the kitchen table, talking about nursery colors and whether their baby would inherit Kamara's dimples or Jinwoo's stubborn chin. I have something for you, Jinwoo said after dinner. He pulled out a small velvet box, but held up his hand when Kamara's eyes widened. Before you panic, I'm not proposing. Not yet. I want to do that right, with your parents present, with all the traditional blessings, but I wanted you to have this. Inside the box was a delicate gold necklace with two pendants, one shaped like a small chili pepper, the other like a Korean plum blossom. To represent us, your fire, my culture. Two things that shouldn't work together but somehow create something beautiful. Kamara's eyes filled with tears as he fastened it around her neck. I love it. I love you. I love you too. Both of you. He placed his hand on her now obvious belly. I know this wasn't how either of us planned our lives. I know I brought danger and chaos into your world, but I would do it all again, every terrifying moment, if it meant ending up here with you. Even the part where I threw a spatula at your head? Especially that part. You have excellent aim. He kissed her softly. Marry me, Kamara. Not because of the baby, not because of safety or obligation. Marry me because when I'm with you, I'm the man I always wanted to be. Marry me because you make me laugh and challenge me and love me despite knowing all my worst parts. Marry me because I can't imagine a single day without you. That sounded like a proposal. It was a practice proposal. The real one will involve your father, traditional attire, probably me crying, definitely me messing up my Igbo. She laughed through her tears. Yes, to the practice proposal and the real one. Yes, to all of it. They were married 3 months later in a ceremony that blended both their cultures, Nigerian traditional attire and Korean hanbok, jollof rice and galbi, her father's blessing and Mrs. Park's tears. Kamara was 7 months pregnant, glowing and beautiful, and Jinwoo cried exactly as predicted when he recited his vows in imperfect but heartfelt Igbo. Their son, Chidi Jinwoo Kang, was born on a snowy February morning, screaming his displeasure at the world with impressive volume. Jinwoo held him with shaking hands, tears streaming down his face as he studied his son's tiny features. Kamara's nose, his own dark hair, a perfect combination of both their worlds. He's perfect, Jinwoo whispered. He's absolutely perfect. He's ours, Kamara corrected, exhausted but radiant. Our miracle. Mrs. Park burst into the hospital room moments later, followed by Kamara's parents via video call, everyone crying and laughing and marveling at the newest member of their blended family. A year later, Kamara stood in her culinary school, a beautiful space in Harlem that Jinwoo had helped her open, where she taught cooking to students from all backgrounds, bridging cultures through food just like she'd always dreamed. On the wall hung photos of her journey, her parents' restaurant in Lagos, Mrs. Park's kitchen, her wedding day, Chidi's first birthday. Jinwoo arrived with their son on his hip, both of them covered in what looked like flour. We tried to make chin-chin, he announced. It went badly. I can see that. Kamara took Chidi, who immediately reached for her necklace. The chili pepper and plum blossom he loved to play with. What am I going to do with you two? Love us forever? Jinwoo suggested, kissing her cheek. Maybe teach us to cook properly. Forever sounds good. She looked around her school, at her family, at the life they'd built from chaos and fear and unexpected love. Forever sounds perfect. As her students arrived and the kitchen filled with laughter and the smell of spices from around the world, Kamara thought about that night 6 months ago when 2 pink lines had changed everything. She'd been terrified then, alone and facing an impossible future. Now she had a husband who loved her fiercely, a son who was her whole heart, a godmother who would protect them with her life, and a community she'd built from scratch. She had her dream, her family, her home. She had everything. Jinwoo caught her eye across the kitchen, Chidi babbling happily in his arms, and mouthed 3 words, I love you. Kamara smiled, touching her necklace, and mouthed them back. Some love stories start with a meet cute. Some start with love at first sight. Theirs started with danger and secrets and impossible choices. But it ended with joy, with family, with a future neither of them could have imagined, but both of them had fought for. And that Kamara thought as she began her class, was the best kind of love story of all. If you enjoyed Kamara and Jinwoo's journey from fear to forever, from chaos to family, please subscribe to our channel for more emotional romance stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Like this video if their love story touched your heart. Comment below which moment made you cry or cheer, and share this with someone who loves intense romance with a happy ending. What should our next story be about? Let us know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and remember, sometimes the most unexpected love stories become the most beautiful ones.